Oh no, it's recording. I gotta go.
I gotta go. Bye. Oh, no, wait, I can't do that, can I? Good day, everybody.
Good day.
Thank you. I'm like, somebody respond. I know you're all muted. Somebody find your mute button.
Good morning.
Thanks, Andy.
Nice.
And it is morning for you. It's not crazy early, but it is morning for you. So that's good. All right. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes because normally when we start with introductions, I always end up missing people that join us a couple of minutes after the hour. So I'm going to just give it about 2, maybe 3 minutes so we can just sort of hang out and be social. And how is everybody doing? Do we have any, fun stuff happening in our lives right now? Are people starting to potentially ease up on their self-imposed or otherwise restrictions and getting to visit family and friends and see people? So, Judy, that sounds good.
Like there.
Well, I saw my grandbaby, so that made me happy.
Oh.
Yay.
Awesome. We went RV camping a couple weeks ago and we're going again this weekend, and I'm excited about that. It's nice to kind of get away and get out of the house.
Nice. We went to visit my parents like a Wednesday to a Wednesday over the 4th of July weekend. We were gone for the 4th of July weekend, and just my girls were in heaven because we walked to the lake every day and they went swimming 2 or 3 times a day. And I'm like, pack every bathing suit you own so that every time we change, every time we go home, you can put a dry suit on. So that's the extent of our plans, but it was kind of nice to see my mom and dad who I hadn't seen for a while. So that was to get a hug from my mom and dad. So that was kind of nice. Yeah.
We've slowly let our adult children in the house. I had been relegating them out to the deck, and yeah, they've slowly come in, and things seem to be okay.
That's good.
I still haven't really hugged them though. I'm quite timid still about entering into the world. So,
yeah.
I'm fortunate on Vancouver Island. I'm very fortunate because the cases are nil here. It's nice. Because we've got a big fence around the island and we have a moat. But my grandkids, I put the futons down on the floor in the living room, and we all were allowed to have visits together. So it's been quite wonderful that way.
Good. Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Sandy. You've got 1 or 2.
How is it down in the States with everybody? The news reports are horrendous up here for you.
Yeah. Well, it depends on where you are in the States. Some are experiencing a little bit more difficulty and challenge than others. So depends on where you are.
Really bad here in Houston. And in fact, the cases are going up so much every day that they're considering sort of a lockdown again, and people are really not going out much at all. So it's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That would be the same in Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, same in Atlanta.
Really? Yeah, my heart goes out to you all.
Thank you. We have a lot of guns though, so that's good.
Love your sense of humor so bad.
I'm sure there's a militia somewhere ready to go.
Things are pretty good in Massachusetts, I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm still timid, but
Yeah.
That's why I'm in Vermont, and I've never been so grateful to live in such a rural area. It's just nice. Not really seeing it as much as I think I would in the bigger cities.
I will share though that since we here on campus and I'm back at work, we had to bring our chiropractic students back and a lot of our exercise science students back and even some of our nutrition students back because their education is very hands-on. They cannot meet their educational goals without being able to be in contact with people and even touch people. So we only brought that limited number of students back, which is probably a third-ish of our student body, only students who are having labs. Everything else is staying remote. And I can't tell you how grateful they seem to just be in contact with people again. They're being very careful. You know, we thought we'd have some pushback on masks and the requirements where you have to go get your temperature taken and get a wristband to be on campus. No pushback whatsoever. So just to see people, you know, and here in my office, I don't wear a mask, but if I'm walking down the halls, I do, because I would rather be able to speak to people, you know, than not be able to speak to people. And I feel more comfortable doing that with a mask on. So, you know, just to see people, especially our students and young folks who were so separated from each other, I think they really appreciated the pause that remote education gave them once they got the hang of it. It almost killed our professors too. And, you know, someone I know and may or may not have been married to for 38 years is a professor, and it almost killed him. But he got through it and actually sort of enjoyed it. But same deal with the students. Some really thrived and some did not, but mainly just seeing them back. And then a couple of people came to my door because I'm known as being, I mean, I will hug you, you know, I will hug you good. So they were like, can I have a hug? It's like, yeah, you masked up, we put a mask on, let's do it. So, you know, I think balancing those relative risks is going to be a big, huge part of what we have to do, because we cannot lose this. I'm sorry, I'm ranting a little bit, but this course tells us how biologically imperative human connection really is. And I just don't think we can lose that. And we have to be super careful, but we also have to start having some kind of contact or people are going to go crazy. We're hearing depression, and anyway, I'll stop. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, it certainly has. All right, so we have, I have an agenda, but you know, as always, our agenda is kind of fluid. So I'm gonna find my agenda quickly. And if we could all get like a 10-second so that everybody on the call, I'm lucky because I know everybody on the call. I feel very blessed that I know all the faces, and I could probably even tell you where you are located in the world, with the possible exception of one who's driving me crazy. But if you could do me a favor, please, and share who you are and where you are in the world. That's it, who you are, where you are in the world, so that everybody can put names and faces together. And if perhaps you have a connection to somebody else, as I know we have at least one connection in the same, from the same country. So that would be awesome. And I am going to start with whoever is in my top right-hand screen, which is Kaylee. So Kaylee, can you start who you are and where you are in the world?
Yeah, my name's Kaylee, and I am in Vermont, as I mentioned. So I'm just outside of Burlington, Vermont, which if you're more familiar with Canada, it's about 2 hours south of Montreal. Let's see, anything else, or is that pretty much it? That's it. All right, cool.
Yeah, thanks. Pam.
I'm Pam Lewis. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I know Carrie on the call, who's also in Houston, and Jennifer from helping so much with the online course this fall. Thanks.
Good to see you, Pam. Cricket.
Hey, I'm Cricket. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I see Mary Catherine and Angelica, who were just in my recent Facilitator 1 class. So good to see. Oh, and there's a Sheila.
Yeah.
There you are. That's 4 of us together. So welcome, and I'm happy to see your faces.
Yes, thanks, Cricket. Asiya, you're next.
Hi everyone, I'm Asia. I'm based in the UK, just outside of London, in a town called Chigwell, which is in Essex. And I know Jennifer, hi, and Cricket, and Mary Catherine and Angelica, and it's lovely to see you all today.
And we're going to connect you to Lucy, because when Lucy does her introduction, you're going to find out you're located in the same country. Judy, if you could please share.
Hi, I'm Judy, and I live in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, which is about 35 minutes north of Boston and about 10 minutes south of New Hampshire.
Excellent. Thank you. Sandy.
Hi, my name is Sandy Anweiler. I live on Vancouver Island in BC, British Columbia, Canada. And I know Jennifer and her smiling face, that's always, and Rebecca, who has the greatest sense of humor in the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. And Andrea.
Yes, good morning. My name is Andrea Monsanto. I'm in Medellin, Colombia. And I know, obviously, Jennifer, Rebecca, Kristen, Kaylee, Lucy, and Angelica.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Catherine.
Hello, I'm Mary Catherine Burgess, and I'm up in Edinburgh, Scotland. So even though Scotland and England and Wales and Northern Ireland are still somewhat separate, we're all other than Northern Ireland, we're on the same island. So we're very close. I also come from Nebraska, Iowa and Nebraska, so I have a double deal, but I'm in Edinburgh now. And I know, as the others have said, of course I've met Jennifer and have been with Cricket and Aisha and Angelica, and I've met several of you through some of these calls before, but not to know you, just to see you and be together. So anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Mary Catherine. Lucy.
Hey everyone, I'm Lucy. I'm in London, in the UK. So great to see here. Ashia, you're in Essex, not far at all. Lovely to see all of you. I haven't met many of you. I've seen a lot of your faces and working with Andrea and Kristen right now with the San Antonio cohort. So yeah, great to meet you. And hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Lucy. Susan.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Susan, and I live in the mountains in sort of central California. So hello, everyone. It's just great to see you and great to be here in such an amazing group and from all places everywhere. So I love it. I know many of you, and many of you I have not met before, but I'm glad to meet you today.
Excellent. Thank you, Susan. Angelica.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Angelica Hildebrand. For those who don't know me, I am from Colombia, just like Andrea, but I live in Seattle, Washington, and Rebecca was my wonderful facilitator for CIT1. And of course, I know you, Jennifer, and Mary Catherine, and Cricket, and Asia. Well, let me see. And of course, Andrea and Kristen, I met her yesterday. So good morning to everyone.
Thank you. Carrie.
Hey everyone, I'm Carrie Fellner. I'm in Houston with Pam, and was lucky to have her as my facilitator, and excited to see you all. Some of you are new faces, but a lot of you are familiar, so we'll see each other month after month. Really excited about the things that we're doing with CIT.
Excellent. Thanks, Carrie. And last but not least, the one person on my screen I am completely at a loss for. It just says K.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Collin.
Oh, you're killing me.
It's been a pleasure driving you crazy, Jennifer. Yeah, so I've been enjoying it. No, everybody, my name is Kwani. I apologize. My video quality is terrible. I'm anti-video as well, and my network is shaky. Good enough reasons to switch it off. It's a pleasure. I've interacted with Jennifer, Katie, Andrea, and I've met and I know Lucy. And yeah, I'm in New Delhi at the moment. It's a pleasure to see all of you.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad, Kawani, and your voice gave it away. I'm not gonna lie. When you said your name was Michael, I'm like, oh, I know who that is now, because it's been driving me crazy. So thank you for that. You just gave me a good chuckle for the whole afternoon. I appreciate that. We're gonna go through some of our agenda items pretty quickly so that we can have some, I don't want to say lengthy conversation because we only have an hour together, but I wondered if, Kaylee, if there were any coaching updates that you could or would be able to share for the rest of the team, even for those of you who are not familiar with coaching, if you could give us a 1 minute, what is coaching? And then maybe if there are ways for folks to be involved and or just places to go to find information.
Sure. I'll share a little bit. I know Andrea was kind of prepared to share today as well. I just kind of hopped on last minute, but Andrea and I and Teresa are all the CIT coaches. And currently we're offering group coaching and individual coaching. We're kind of trying to build momentum with the coaching program currently. So hopefully with a couple of cohorts finishing up, we can kind of get some traction. But essentially we have, if you go to the website, actually compassionateintegrity.org, and then click on coaching, you'll find profiles for all of us along with some additional information. And I think we're looking at getting some groups scheduled. So hopefully Andrea and I will meet and get some dates set, and we can let you know more details about that soon. But I believe with the group coaching, it includes like one individual session, so it can help the coach and the client kind of get to know each other before continuing with the group. I'm gonna see if Andrea has any additional information that she was kind of ready to share, and then hopefully in the coming sessions we'll have some more details for you.
Excellent.
Kaylee, no, I think you covered it all. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
All right. Well, Andrea, she only went first because she was in the top right-hand corner of my screen. Next time
It's
I'll
okay.
Just a quick reminder that the PowerPoint slides are updated on a somewhat regular basis. So for those of you who are planning classes or already in classes or have just finished some classes, make sure that you're going to the website to get the most up-to-date slides, because that is where you will find all of them. If you're questioning what website I'm talking about, let me know so that we can make sure that your credentials are still working. And those do include the thinking trap. So for those of you who have recently gone through a class, that is familiar. For those of you who have not facilitated in a while, you might want to go through the slides just before you would, start thinking about your next class, so that you can refresh your information, and of course that you can look at the information about the thinking traps. For those, the thinking traps, we have not updated the training videos in some cases. However, the PowerPoints are updated and the facilitator's notes are updated. But because Michael and I have not had an opportunity to get both of us together in the same place to do additional training videos or to update the training videos, in some cases Michael would just jump in and splice the video if we were able to do that. But the presentation notes and the PowerPoints are your two best sources of information for the new information regarding thinking traps, because those have been fleshed out a little bit more. So if you're really confused, let us know. We'd be happy to walk through any particular skills with you, but you can definitely get the most current information from the website and the facilitator content section. Kristen.
Sorry, and I just want to recommend really clicking through them before you're presenting, because sometimes the clicks have changed and what words come up, and that just, now that we're all online, it makes a big difference when you click and you don't know what is coming up next. So I'm just a word of caution there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now I think, yep, she's still here. Carrie, we're gonna do, so for those of you who have been involved in any recent conversations or have been involved in classes recently, you have heard that we are transitioning from our online platform, from Ruzuku, which is what we just refer to as the online learning platform, to a platform called Sutra. And so Carrie, because she's been working a lot of behind the scenes information on that is going to give us an introduction to Sutra and an overview of how we're intending to use it. It will not have all this functionality to start, you know, tomorrow, but what we're intending to use Sutra for moving forward in order to be able to continue our conversations and discussions. So Carrie, if you would share, that would be wonderful.
Sure. And let me go ahead and share my screen so you all can see what this looks like. But basically, we've started building out a pilot this month for the upcoming facilitator training, and the month following, we're planning to add on circles or group discussions for example, this facilitator training groups so for all of our facilitators. And basically, the idea is to have an online platform where everyone who has to do with CIT can meet in some form or fashion. If there are particular things that people are interested in, like educators or nonviolent extremism, as in Kwani's case, you know, where we can bring people together to have conversations around that information sharing and just, you know, continually update our content and just enrich the community with, you know, with everything that this beautiful community globally has to offer to each other. So right now we've built out, if you look at the sidebar on the side, we've built out just our core team, which is, you know, all of us who are building this out and all of us who, you know, meet regularly on CIT. But then this level 1 facilitator training. And the way that Sutra works is that it's a pretty unique architecture and software because it's built on this concept of circles, and you can think of these circles as buildings and then rooms inside of buildings. And so if you look at it, like these are all, it's like the real world. Like it's like you're walking down the street and you can go into a big auditorium where everyone is in a general discussion. You can go and meet with a specific team in one room, and then you can go and meet with another team in another room, or you can enter another building and do facilitator training, for example. And the idea here is it's just a really great platform to just copy things. You just literally grab things and go. So the dream is that one day y'all as facilitators can just grab course resources here, use them. It'll all be laid out for you. You can adjust them as you want to because it is a configurable platform. But just that we have like one central repository, and there's also a place where people can just share, you know, where facilitators can say, hey, I found this amazing resource on YouTube. It really helped to explain ethical mindfulness or something. So the dream is that this becomes that centralized platform where, you know, kind of everyone can talk to each other and everyone can communicate and share all the beautiful things that we're doing in the world. So it's very brief. There will be more in, you know, next month, basically, is the plan to start building that out. So I'm excited for y'all to see that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of new functionality that I think you're all going to appreciate, and a lot more opportunities to engage in continuous discussions and conversations. And I know that our Facebook platform has been helpful, and there have been really great discussions there. But not everybody is on Facebook, or if you are like me, and I won't say anti-social media, but that's definitely not my, where I spend my time, literally or physically or metaphorically. So, you know, if social media isn't your thing, this is hopefully another way for folks to be involved and engaged in continuous conversations and dialogues. And there is also, although I have not explored it completely, there is an app for your phones as well, so that you can, if that's something you would like to do, have that information coming to your phone as well, if you're not, you know, so much on the computer, but you spend a lot of time with your phone. So yeah. Wonderful resource for us. We're looking forward to it. Anything else you want to share on that, Carrie, or any questions that you all might have for Carrie? I see Susan.
I see a question from Susan. You'll get an invitation to the circle. It's slated for sometime early to mid-September right now. So it might be earlier, but right now we're just really focused on, we're doing a totally new format for the facilitator in Training program, and that's all going to be on Sutra. So if you guys can give us a little bit of time to build that out and just make sure that all those students, you know, have all the content they need. But the expectation is that this is just, instead of having to go to email, to the website, to, you know, to Rizuku, to wherever to get material, that this is just a two-way street where all new material is accessible for you. It's actually a unique platform because we can actually build out things like discussions or specific learning experiences there. And that's something that you guys could use as facilitators with your students if someone's having difficulty understanding something like, I don't know, interdependence or something. You could, you know, we could have that built out and you just point to it. And the objective is ultimately also to just use all the resources that we have kind of all over to help build out functional tools for you to use when you're facilitating. And to share, obviously. Go ahead, Mary. Or Mary Catherine, sorry.
Thank you. Since this is a combination of, well, what currently is Zoom, when we're doing online anyway, Zoom and the Rizuko, or however you say that, does that mean that participants in basic CIT courses will go to this same place to get some of the assignments or the kinds of things they would have gone to the Rizuko for? How will that work?
Yes, ultimately, that's the objective, is that as facilitators, you would have the choice to also use this platform, and obviously your students would have access to some resources, some content that we have on the website, but also that you would have the option to actually run, if you were running a remote, you know, Zoom-based or whatever video conference platform, you can actually use that very easily in Sutra. It's actually built for that. So there's actually a link where you can have your video conference connection, and people can just go in and out of it and have discussion there as well.
Thank you.
So it's just a very flexible platform. So the objective is to give you all resources and support that you can use, that you can copy, that you can take advantage of if you choose to. But obviously how you run your programs is up to you. We just want to give you that support.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I didn't get a chance to show y'all, but I didn't want to take too long, but it's the most exciting part of it to me is that it's just such a gentle, loving, connecting way of using software. Do you know what I mean? It's not just like Facebook. It's very personal and very it's just very gentle, and I just really appreciate that. I think you can kind of tell just by the way that it looks. I don't know how familiar you are with software, but I mean, you guys use it every day in your lives. But it's just, you can really feel the spirit of the you know, the intent of the program just by the way it looks and feels, which is just a very loving, safe, open, community-based program. It's really wonderful. So I'm really excited.
So maybe when Skynet takes over, Sutra won't join in. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Any other questions? Thoughts? Asia.
Hi everyone, that looks so good. I can't wait to be invited to use it. I wanted to ask, with CEs that facilitator in trainees have been submitting, is there an opportunity to share those with each other so that we can read each other's, we can get more ideas, skills can be embedded in us? Because somebody kindly sent me their CE to look at, and it was just so amazing to see it from somebody else's point of view. And I thought, if this is something that we could share with so many other people, obviously if they're willing to and they're happy to do that, but it just made me see it in a different light. And then if I was explaining it to somebody else, I could go to that, and because they might not understand the way that I'm explaining it, but if somebody else had a different way of saying it, that would be something that would be so helpful? Is that something that you would consider?
The answer is absolutely yes. Honestly, when I first approached Michael about some type of platform, the CEs were my #1 thing. We have such an amazing breadth of experience and knowledge through all of our facilitators. And I just kept thinking, we've got neurologists, we've got, you know, experts in just about everything who are creating these CEs. We need to all see these things. We need to be able to expand our consciousness and expand CIT. And I jokingly call that the CIT 2.0 content. But one of the amazing things about Sutra is that yes, everyone will submit their CEs there, but we can just grab them from there and, you know, take the ones that are the most, you know, most valuable, and we can actually put them all together based on whatever skill or whatever term they're referring to, and people can just cherry pick them. You know, they can just, you know, we'll figure out a way to share those. But honestly, I mean, that's such a tremendous question, because in my heart, that was one of the main reasons why I felt like we needed a place to be able to share this evergreen content that so many amazing people in the world are contributing to CIT. So yes, the answer is absolutely yes.
That's really, really good to know, because it's one of the biggest things I think as a facilitator in training that you do, and to have a look at other people's and what other people's ideas are, what they come out with, it is amazing. So fingers crossed.
Yes. So the answer is a big, huge yes, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
And ultimately, so the system is searchable and taggable. So ultimately, we'll have them based on terms. So you can just literally search everything for gratitude. And if someone found some amazing video or some beautiful poem, it's there. It'll show up. So that's the plan, to really create this sort of ecosystem where everything that we're sharing, a lot of facilitators use wonderful things that people don't really know about. And this will be a place where facilitators can say, hey, I've been using this, you know, glass metaphor for years, training CIT. You guys might want to use this. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the plan, really, to grow that ecosystem and to grow all that information and content where people can cherry pick whatever is best for their particular cohort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's been a goal, Asia, almost since day one when we were trying to put together all the CEs, because we've had folks that are involved in different areas. So we've got educators who want to talk to other educators and share CEs. We've got folks that are involved in the prison system and want to be able to share CEs. And the problem with our current system is that it does not allow us to go in and tag those or pull those aside. So unless whoever's reviewing the CEs writes it down on a Post-it note and stacks it on their wall with, you know, the skill number and how it would relate to, it's been a challenge to try to do that. So we're really excited about to be able to do that in Sutra, so that we can tag them with multiple things. So it's educators, it's skill 3, it's, you know, also works in the prison system, works for K through 12, higher ed. So be able to tag them so that you understand or know where to find some other stuff that will be relevant to you, which is really helpful.
Yeah,
definitely excited about that.
Yeah. So stay tuned. It's all coming.
Coming soon. The coming attractions.
Yep.
Excellent. Just some quick updates, hopefully, and we've got some folks that are involved in these programs, so they might want to jump in and just let us know how things are working. We are currently finishing up a 5-week, twice a week group with about 175 educators in San Antonio, and many of the folks on this call have been facilitating that group. We have a morning cohort and an afternoon cohort, and it's been I mean, I've only been popping in and out to some of the different calls just to, you know, see how the conversations are going, and every conversation I've popped into has just been really exciting and energizing. So we're finishing up that program and hopefully be able to take that as a, hey, this is a pilot we worked with educators in San Antonio. This is what we did. This is how it worked. These were the results and these were the outcomes, because they are doing evaluations of the sessions and the programs. And we've also been able to work with, I figured it out, Kristen, it is UT San Antonio. through their extended ed program to offer continuing education credits, which is something that has been on our agenda for a really long time, to try to be able to offer continuing ed credits for CIT courses. Because we have a lot of folks in different fields that would love to take CIT for continuing ed, but we have yet to be able to find a solution for that without going to all the different organizations. So hopefully UTSA is going to be able to help us put together a program or a system that worked for them, so that we can maybe replicate that with some other institutions in the area and around the world. So we're really excited about that. We also just finished up 2 courses with the charter. Those are CIT initial courses. We just finished those up last week and the week before. So those are really exciting. We've got a lot more folks that'll be joining our alumni group, and a CIT hopefully joining the conversations in Sutra in a couple of weeks as well. So we're really excited about that. We have 2 new charter courses for that are going to be done in conjunction with the charter and CSICE in September. So starting the week of September 13th, we'll also have 2 different courses running again. So if you've got people that are interested, or you know folks that might be interested in taking the course, that would be awesome. And as Carrie alluded to, we have a facilitator training starting in August. It is a pilot program. We are restructuring based on feedback from recently graduated facilitators, FITs who are just finishing up, and even some feedback from facilitators who have been out facilitating for a little while. What did I need? What did I need more of? How can we improve the facilitator training program? And so we're really excited to be offering that pilot starting in August. And that will consist of practice groups, so that you'll have opportunities to engage in more conversation. You'll be able to talk about facilitation strategies. You'll be able to have dialogues about all these different skills before you actually have to facilitate it. You'll have opportunities to facilitate contemplative practices, give instructions for the group activities that we would do, the breakout sessions, reflective writing, mindful dialogues. You'll be able to engage in all of these things before you do your practicum, which is your 2-hour facilitation of, skill 1 through 10. And the folks that we've shared this information with are really excited about it. The folks that I've shared, hey, coming soon, the next facilitator training, are really excited about the opportunity to engage in that conversation. And I shared this before. I think we've had some folks that I think come through facilitator training just because they want to continue engaging with the material, don't really want to go out and facilitate it to others. They just really want to continue to have conversations with like-minded individuals. And so I think being able to provide both opportunities to engage in more in-depth and meaningful conversations during facilitator training, and to have those opportunities for folks in the different circles in Sutra, just to have those conversations, I think is only going to enrich and strengthen our program in general and our facilitator training program. So we're really excited to be able to offer that. So if you know folks that are interested, please let us know. You can email info@compassionateintegrity.org. We'll make sure that they get the email with the registration link, because those are hopefully going live today. The registration links are hopefully going live today. So if folks are interested, please let us know. And I see we had somebody, I don't want to put them on the spot, but we had somebody join us when we were talking. And so Onyango, if you'd like to say hi and tell everybody where you are in the world, that would be wonderful if you have the ability to do so.
Hello everyone, I'm tuning in from Nairobi, Kenya. I was caught up in traffic, that's why I was a bit late, because I planned to join this meeting. So I'm excited to hear, even though I'm late, but I got a bit much part of the discussion, and I'm excited to be part of this team, and I'm looking forward to learning from each and every one of us, and seeing how we can take CIT to another level. And I'm really excited about the structuring of the training, facilitators training, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, no, thank you. And so let's see, who am I going to miss? So the folks that are working with the San Antonio group, we've got, I'm going through my images here. We've got Kristen, Rebecca, Lucy, Andrea, and Onyango. They have been working with the team in San Antonio. And I think for me, one of the one of the coolest things about that was when I was looking at my list of facilitators, we've got facilitators, I think, from 4 different continents working with this group in San Antonio. And the folks from San Antonio, after they did introductions on the first night, I was getting emails from the folks in San Antonio. Oh my gosh, how did you get all these wonderful people in this place? And I'm like, technology is a beautiful thing. You know, we wouldn't have this opportunity if we weren't experiencing what we're currently experiencing. We wouldn't have had this opportunity to get all these people together in one place at one time. And so that's been, for me, one of the most beautiful things about San Antonio is I've got people from London, I've got people from Kenya, I've got people from Colombia. Shane is in that group, so I've got somebody from Madrid in that team. And then of course I have the United States, 2 different areas of the United States represented, and Anum, who's not with us right now, but is in New Delhi. So when you look at those opportunities and you think about the wonderful things and the reach that we can have with CIT, it just amazes me. So continually grateful for all the wonderful people that I get to meet and the opportunities that you all provide every day. So, any questions about new content or the new structure for facilitator training?
Yeah, I have a question, Jennifer. How about level 2 facilitator training? How's that going to be handled?
Well, the way it's currently handled, and we're in the process of restructuring that as well. The way it's currently handled is, in order to be eligible to be a level 2 facilitator, you've had to facilitate at least 4 CIT initial classes. And so once you've done that, then you can apply to move forward with level 2. And a level 2 facilitator, the difference between level 1 and level 2, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is that a level 2 facilitator can host their own facilitator courses and certify others to be level 1 facilitators. So currently there's only a handful of us around to be able to do that. And so all facilitators are currently coming through me or Michael, Rebecca, Anya, who just worked with the rest of the FIT group that just finished, is working her way through that. Shane is a level 2 facilitator. And then we have 1 or 2 folks in the Atlanta area that are not currently active that are also level 2 facilitators that may hopefully be able to be a little bit more active with the new platform. And so those level 2 facilitators can hold courses and host courses that would provide the opportunity for level 1 facilitators and to be able to certify level 1 facilitators. So in order currently to be a level 2, 4 courses apply, and then work with the level 2 team to get experience and practice completing practicum feedback forms, doing reviews of CEs. So you would have an initial review of somebody's curricular engagement activity and then send your comments to a level 2 facilitator who's like your mentor for the process, who would then go through your comments with you and go, yep, you nailed it on this one, or something we need to think about might be this, this, or this. So then you have that opportunity to mentor with somebody else who can walk you through that process. And then once you've done that for, right now it's about 2 classes. The goal is for level 2 facilitators to mentor at least 15 facilitators on their own. So you've got 15 folks that you've mentored from start to finish before we'll say, hey, here you go, there's your certificate, you can be a level 2. I say certificate, I don't really have a certificate for level 2 yet, but I'm sure we can create one since we haven't done that yet. Does that answer your question, Andrea?
Yes, and I also wanted to know if you have one of those trainings coming up, or if there's not like a real training for that and it's just what you mentioned before. I'm not exactly sure.
It's being involved in the next facilitator training, so we're still pulling we're still pulling the full team together for the August class. So yes, there is opportunity. I will ask, just because my mind is kind of today, if you would do me a favor and just shoot me an email. Hey Jennifer, reminder, I'm interested in level 2 training. Then we can add you to that list of folks who are interested in more information.
Great, thank you so much, Jennifer, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other thoughts, comments, questions before we move on? All right. Real quick, we have some alumni calls coming up, the CIT alumni calls are going to be July 21st. That's our next one, so that's next week. And that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Pacific, IST, so India Standard Time. I don't know the time frame in Tasmania. I don't know what time zone that is. That's one that I just have a blank on, and Gwen just laughs at me because she said, I think I do too. But we are combining, just FYI, we're combining Europe and India. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time versus 7 p.m. Central European Standard Time. Just because of numbers, and our facilitators in Europe and India got together and said, hey, for July, we're going to try this and see how it works. So just so you're aware. And then, of course, the next calls, August 25 is the one coming up. And then we've got September through December already planned out. So we're hoping to have on our website soon a calendar, but there will definitely be something in Sutro that will also have upcoming events and meetings so that you can easily find the next coming calls, because our next facilitator call is going to be August 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern. And as you know, we've got, as you can see, we've got such a global program that we're never going to find one time that works for everybody. So every month we rotate times, and hopefully we can get as many people as possible. We also share the recordings and kind of a at least brief agenda of what we covered in the call, so that if folks need to go back and watch it later on, they can certainly do that. And then I just wanted to give a quick update on our SDL program. And as you know, we're working with UNESCO and the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Peace and of Education and Peace for Sustainable Development. And so MGIEP, the self-directed learning program is in the works. We've done a lot of work. Michael has done the majority of the work on the back end for the SDL version. We are creating a program that will hopefully supplement live facilitation, as well as provide folks an opportunity to go through a CIT course from start to finish on their own at their own pace, with activities and practices and things like that, so that you can use it when you're facilitating as a resource. So, you know, hey, here's a 3-minute video on ethical mindfulness. If you're struggling with the concept, here's a great resource for you, so that when you're facilitating a class, you have additional resources that you can provide to your students and your participants. But it is also a way to be able to scale the program a little bit larger, a little bit quicker, so that folks can take the SDL version. Now that it has been referred to by some as SDL Lite, meaning the light version of SDL, because we are making sure that a lot of the information that is in there is obviously relevant and applicable to CIT, but perhaps not triggering, because there are some concepts, when you get to some certain concepts, skill 4, self-compassion, skill 6, forgiveness and gratitude, that are sometimes challenging for individuals. And so being able to ensure that our content isn't going to cause people more trauma in their lives is something that we are working very hard to make sure that we are not doing. So that's something that we are definitely in the works. It's looking great. We also have a tentative launch date for what that might look like. And you'll have to forgive me as I look to my calendar. Hopefully launching SEL and the online collective of governments and stakeholders and it's titled Rethinking Learning, a review of social and emotional learning for education systems. We're really excited about that, to be partnering with MGIEP to be able to put together that program. And if anybody's interested, we have a press release that I'd be happy to share with all of you from the university and our relationship with MGIEP and UNESCO on that one. And then launching Series 1 on August 12th in conjunction with the United Nations International Day of Youth. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And then September 21st, launching Series 1, if we haven't already done it, and 2, in conjunction with the UN International Day of Peace. And a launch of, fingers crossed, the entire program August 24th, which coincides with the birthday and the 75th anniversary of the United Nations.
October.
So lots of amazing stuff happening right now with the SDL version, and just fingers crossed that we can get all of the content done, because with everybody being shut down and locked down for a little while, that's been a bit challenging. So hopefully we can get all of the content, the videos and the recordings and the practices and everything up and running to meet those deadlines, but we're really excited about that. Oh, I meant October 24th. I don't know what I said, but I did mean October 24th. If I said August, that's, you know, it's my parents' wedding anniversary. It's August 24th. So, you know, I celebrate. It's fun. Any thoughts, comments, questions? I see you all thinking deeply. All right. Well, I'm going to just throw out there, it was a conversation that I was having right before you all joined us with Kristen and Rebecca. And because it's been a topic that has been broached on several occasions, we are hoping to hold a series of like 30-minute specialized meetings. Whoever can make it can make it. We will record it and then we will share the recording on topics such as marketing, because that has been a question that many folks have had anxiety about, or issues like, how do I do this? How do I market this? Where do I find materials? What materials am I allowed to use? What am I not allowed to use? So hopefully hosting a short series of 30-minute Zoom calls, conversations that we can get questions answered, you can get information, and then we can share that information on eventually Sutra, but right now on the website, so that you have access to that information, so that if there are questions that you need answered, you can find those resources available to you. So if there are specific topics that you would like to see covered in a 30-minute, short 30-minute conversation, let us know, and that way we've got questions that we can start a conversation with. Let's see. Compassionate marketing for sales executive. That's a great idea, Kwani. We can certainly look at all those different options. Is there anything else you would like to share on that?
No, I thought that is what you meant, and then yeah, I thought that was quite exciting.
Well, that's a great idea. It's not what I meant, but that's a great idea. How do we market this, and what does that look like? I like the phrase though, compassionate marketing. I have Mary Catherine, yeah.
Maybe this is just self-evident, and it was part of what Carrie said earlier too, but will there be some kind of a training, I mean, kind of for how to use the sutra, and how will that come? Will that be something like this where you'd have a 30-minute, well, what will that look like? How will that look? Or will it?
Definitely there'll be training. It's so intuitive though, and simple to use that it will be pretty brief, and then there will be just a circle for facilitators, and then within that circle even, you know, we have so many facilitators, and some of them are education focused, or some of them are medical professionals. So within those circles, y'all can go off and create circles together. And so going back to what Jennifer said earlier, where we can share content that has to do with, you know, a particular area of thought or of interest, and we can just allow space for that. And y'all will have the power to do that, but also we'll have all the content as well. So that's really why we chose Sutra as the platform, because it gave us so much flexibility, not just for having the courses and the course material and the discussions. And I don't know about you all, but I know from speaking to some of you, I mean, we create a family with our facilitators, you know, whoever we trained with. And, you know, it's a very loving connection that we want to support, an ongoing connection there. For me, for example, Kwani is one of my people, you know, he's my family. I love him. And I want to be able to stay connected with him. And sometimes just emailing with someone it's not the same as just being able to share, you know, everything that we're doing, and especially as it relates to compassion and integrity in the world. So that's really what this is about. And there will definitely be training, not to worry.
Thank you.
And
I know, it sounds great. It sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else? Last minute thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, anything that we need to add to agendas moving forward, especially for our August 12th meeting?
Jennifer, I have a question about the SEL and how will that be the kind of thing that if we know organizations for whom that SEL, not the SEL, I'm sorry, the SDL would be a perfect package, whether or not, how we might refer an organization, like I'm thinking of part of Compassionate Houston's partners, you know, include organizations for the homeless or even homeless youth, where they absolutely prefer that people be able to do it on their own because just of the way they come and go and that kind of thing. Will there be a way to refer organizations to?
There will absolutely be a way for you to be able to connect those organizations with the program. I don't know what they will look like right now, Pam, but yes, absolutely, because we will want to be able to connect as many organizations with content as possible. So there will be a way to do it. We just don't know what it'll look like just yet.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. That's a great question.
Oh, and will the people who took the last CIT course automatically get the August 4th date for the facilitator training?
We are putting the registration link in the online learning platform for them that will go out to them via email.
Okay.
But if you know people, I would absolutely send them information or send them even our email address so we can make sure that we get them that registration link.
Okay, great.
I was gonna we have the cohorts from our first CIT class that has been ongoing, and then now with the the facilitator class. And so one of the things that I'm thinking would be really helpful, and we've sort of started this already, is to start utilizing Sutra now so that we increase comfort level because it's an open platform. So for instance, we can have conversations amongst ourselves, and then as CIT moves into its ability to absorb the rest of us at that time, we can add that on, but we'll be more comfortable. And so we have just started with the fall cohort from last year, and then as the ones from the summer add on, we'll create another group there just to kind of get people used to using it. So that might be helpful to start early if anyone's interested.
Okay. Thank you.
I just have a question too, because that definitely sounds interesting to me to kind of get on the platform. And like I've been actively looking out different platforms and just found one that I started kind of uploading content to. So I'm wondering if it makes sense to just kind of hold off and use Sutra so that, I'm not kind of reinventing the wheel, so to speak. And then I'm also curious if I was going to do my own CIT courses and I have Sutra to do that through you all, is there a charge for that? Or do we all kind of get to use it, for free? Or how does it work where we can use it for our own cohorts, if that makes sense?
I can answer that one, Jennifer.
Thank you. I was going to kick it to you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So right now, so we're really focused on getting this facilitator training up and running, and that's taking all of our effort right now, just to migrate everything that we have and just build out this totally new practice group and practicum framework. But as soon as that's done, the objective is to have y'all on there. And ultimately, there's a schedule, but it's, schedules are always flexible. So we haven't decided what kind of costs there are, because honestly, we don't know how big this is going to get. But for now, the objective is we start migrating these, groups sorry, I'm going to use a bunch of software terms, but we start migrating. When I say that, I'm thinking of flocks of birds, but that's what you say. We're going to start kind of moving this group, for example, just as soon as we can. And in the meantime, if there is something that y'all individually are working on, I'd be happy to just peel off and help you just take a look at Sutra and set up your own accounts. They have free accounts. You can set up your first few circles alone. So if you want to do that, I'd be very happy to help with that, because I know you guys will also give feedback to us on how we design this. So the sooner we can get you on, the better, because you know it's the group, it's the ideas of the group that are going to really make it special.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then Carrie, if you have like an email address where I can contact you directly, that would be helpful, and then we can discuss offline. Yeah, thank you.
Cricket.
We also, actually, we should probably use this instead of mine offline. We have Sutra at Compassionate Integrity. That's what it is, right, Kristen?
Yeah.
Instead of info, we just changed it to Sutra, right?
Change it to Sutra at
Compassionate.
Integrity.org.
Yeah, so it's probably best because then all of us see that, so it's not just me, because I'm just the wonk here. I'm just, you know, building the thing out. So it's you know, the more eyes we can get on something, the better.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? I know we are at our hour, so I want to honor and recognize that you all have other commitments as well. So, all right. Thank you all very much. We hopefully will get the conversation posted later on today, although I will share that technology has not been my friend the past 2 days. So it took me 45 minutes to upload a video yesterday, and I got to about this far from the end and it said upload failed, and I had to start all over again. So I will hopefully get that out on the website in the next couple of hours when I get the video. So if there's anything that you all need, please feel free to let us know. Shoot us an email, send us a smoke signal, whatever you got. It was so nice to see all of your faces today.
Thank you so much to all of you.
You all make me smile. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Take good care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.